Alrighty, here we go on this Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining me today. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and we are tracking storms across Arkansas, Oklahoma, and soon to be Texas, or soon to be storms in what is currently Texas. So let's go ahead and check audio. You guys know whenever I'm doing this blog style, I always have to check my own audio because I don't have a producer to help me out here. So give me just a minute to check my audio, and we'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, I can hear my audio, so you should be able to hear me as well. Let's go ahead and do around the radar real quick. We're not going to take too long to track these storms, okay? I'm going to give you a radar update. I'm going to talk about what's expected for the rest of the evening. Is this going to impact your evening plans? It's possible. Here we go. We've got some storms firing up just to the west of Dallas right now. We've got storms across southeastern Oklahoma, storms from Fayetteville to Russellville. And if we zoom out just a little bit, you're going to be able to see that we're missing our severe weather across New York and Baltimore and Philadelphia, but that could change over the next few hours as well. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hey, look, snow in Colorado. All right, let's get to the activity here. Put your weather questions in the comments section, and I can get to those in just a few minutes as well. All right, the first thing that catches my eye right here is this severe thunderstorm warning that's going into Ozark, Arkansas, currently sitting in St. Paul. What this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds. So we've got some strong wind gusts in Arkansas right now. Actually, just immediately what I see from this is this bulging characteristic of these storms right here. And as this continues to track down to the south, this shows me that we've got some strong winds coming out of St. Paul into Cass right now. Again, we're sitting in northwestern Arkansas, just south of Fayetteville. We've had some flooding issues in this area. These little icons that look like a man with maybe some water under him. What these mean is that there's been some flash flooding reports. Water covering intersection in Prairie Grove, several inches deep from video on social media, according to the National Weather Service. And we've got another one here that says that there's water flowing across the roadway outside of lane nearly impassable. Again, a video coming from social media here. So your videos that you send in to us and to the National Weather Service are very important. Oftentimes, that's how we get things issued, or that's how the National Weather Service will get things issued. But if you send them to us, we can always send them over to the Weather Service as well. As I click through some of these severe thunderstorm warnings right here, just off the bat, what I see is most of these are warned for wind. Every now and then, we get quarter-size hail popping up in here. For the most part, these are being warned for 60, maybe up to 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds here. This area highlighted here in purple, now this is a tornado watch, does include Tulsa. So this area highlighted here in purple just barely includes Tulsa County, Sand Springs, Claremore, Coweta, all included in that here. Let's take a look at this tornado watch, and let me give you some information that the National Weather Service is giving us. Now, got some questions on here. How is it looking between Viola and Cave City, Arkansas? I hope I'm saying that correctly. You guys are going to test my geography here. Now you're more than welcome to test my geography. Okay, I'm finding Cave City. Let me find Viola. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Okay, so you're looking more in like north central Arkansas. Pull up my radar again. So I don't think that you guys are in the tornado watch quite yet. So we're going to pop you guys up on the map here. Not in the tornado watch yet. However, you've got a lot of rain coming down, so your flooding watch or your flooding issues may continue throughout the next few hours. However, Viola should be just about out of the severe threat at all. Cave City, you may keep an eye on that for the next few hours. Great questions. Thanks for asking your questions on this Tuesday evening. Let's go ahead and move a little bit closer to my hometown of Tulsa, Muskogee. Okay, we're going to go out of Arkansas and we're going to go into Muskogee now. So let's go back to this tornado watch, okay? So your tornado watch here highlighted in purple includes Muskogee. It includes Fort Smith at this time. And actually, is Fort Smith? Yes, it is. It's still included in the tornado watch. Let's get some information coming from the Storm Prediction Center and National Weather Service here. Now, what they're telling us is that your primary threats include a few tornadoes. A couple of those could be intense. So we're talking about EF2 or stronger. Scattered damaging winds likely with isolated significant gusts up to 75 miles an hour possible. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail events up to 2 inches in diameter are also possible, coming from the Storm Prediction Center, or yes, Storm Prediction Center here, which I completely agree with. I think that they're on to a really good messaging here, with especially some of these storms that are trying to isolate themselves. Like I'm watching for, I mean, these, yeah, they're not that impressive right now. I'm very interested in this storm that's over Tulsa as it continues. Let me put on a radar loop here. Okay, it's going to flash back and forth for a minute, but all the data, it'll load. Okay, right here. As this storm continues to track to the east and maybe even a southeasterly track here, as this storm moves into places like Inola and Wagner, just north of Muskogee, I'm very interested to see what it'll do as it goes a little bit closer to the state line. So we'll have to watch this storm right here as it gets into some of that more warm and moist environment. Now, whenever we talk about these warm temperatures, let me show you how warm it is for some people. We're popping on our current temperatures right now. Current temperatures are sitting in the 90s. Holy moly. We've got 91 right now in Poteau, Oklahoma. 88 in Stigler. 87 in Muskogee. So Reno was asking about Muskogee. It's currently 87 with a 72-degree dew point. Ugh, it's muggy. It's hot. So it's hot and it's humid in these areas, and that is perfect conditions to fuel storms, right? So as this storm that's sitting at 83 degrees in Tulsa right now, probably actually helping to cool it down in Tulsa at the moment, continues to get into this warm and moist environment, I'm very curious to see what it does. Let's check winds real quick. Okay, so we've got a north wind in Tulsa, but we've got more of that southerly wind down here. So if you've got that south wind, you are still in the risk for severe weather. If you have a north wind right now, I'm not too worried about your severe weather, okay? And you can kind of see that divide as we go from a north wind in northern Tulsa, and then we've got that south wind that goes down just to the north of these severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and you can kind of see that line going through Ada, McAllister, and then taking a turn to the south, going into just to the north of Sherman, going across north of Dallas, North Texas. Do you guys see that line? This is a game that I play all the time on my forecasts called Spot the Front. Spot the cold front. All righty, let's move on. We talked about our tornado watch. Let's talk about our severe thunderstorm watch now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch for portions of southwest Arkansas, central and southern Oklahoma, and North Texas. So what we have right now is this goes until 10 o'clock this evening. The National Weather Service, or Storm Prediction Center rather, is saying that scattered damaging winds are likely with isolated significant gusts up to 75 miles an hour possible. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail events up to 2 inches in diameter are possible. So the biggest difference between this area highlighted here in purple and this area highlighted here in red is going to be your tornado threat. A greater tornado threat in this area, not as great in this area as you head farther down to the south. And then if you want to talk about Texas, going all the way down to Dallas now, the National Weather Service has highlighted this area right here, including Dallas, including Fort Worth, Granbury, Denton, Decatur, Texas, and this is for strong winds, large hail, up to the size of a golf ball, 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds possible over the next few hours. They're saying not enough risk to issue a watch at this point, but just enough to kind of alert you, highlighting that there in red. Frey is making a great point. Mountain tornadoes seems, yeah. This is not good chasing terrain. If you go into eastern Oklahoma, you get a lot of hills, you get a lot of trees. You get very windy roads back in this area. It's not good chasing terrain. And if you get a lot of moisture as well, you may get more of just a downpour and less of that tornado risk. So, I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. Again, we've got just a perfect setup here for tornadoes, large hail, and high wind today. Hey, I want to point out this little storm right here. So this is what we're talking about whenever we talk about this cluster of storms. Not great for hail development. However, you get this little isolated storm right here. Zoom right into this. It's kind of off on its own. It is warned for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So this is good for hail development right here. You want these little isolated storms if you want larger hail. So there you go. I told you I wouldn't be on here for too long. I think that we've answered most of your questions. We've got one question from Zach about Fayetteville, Arkansas. What's your wind look like right now? Not terribly strong. I think your wind is probably going to shift over the next 2 or 3 hours. I'm not too worried about Fayetteville at the moment. However, that doesn't mean that more storms can't move into your area over the next few hours. Your tornado watch goes until 10 o'clock this evening. So I'm not confident enough to say that Fayetteville's in the clear. Now, you've got a break. You've got a break from storms. You don't have any storms coming your way right now. So you've got a good break. I would still watch for more development out to the west. It's a low chance that it's going to get to you. But I wouldn't say that you're in the clear quite yet. Some great questions this evening. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you guys jumping on here. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. I'm going to jump off for now. However, we'll jump back on to our live coverage as these storms continue and progress throughout the evening hours. Make sure that you follow us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of the forms of social media. So follow us there. We'll be posting more radar updates, more hail and tornado videos all night long. And we'll see you back here for your forecast at noon tomorrow.